Hello. Okay, so I didn't plan this out at all, but I wanted to come in and encourage someone, anybody, that you can do it, even in the middle of a pandemic, that we can pivot and still see success and be able to do it. So, at the beginning of this year, I had a video where I listed my 20 goals for 2020. And over the period of time, we came in, we were locked in. And anyway, so I pivoted and I noticed that the best business was online and I was already online. So people were watching more videos. And so what happened as a result of that is, hey, hi, good to see you. How you doing, Wambui? So I just popped in here because I haven't had a video on for a while. And I just wanted to talk about how we can do it, even in the midst of a pandemic, how you can still achieve your goals. And I wanted to share some of my goals that I've actually achieved. Some of them, it's been a blessing. It's happened faster than I thought it was going to happen. And so my goal is to share some of that and to encourage, especially women my age and older, that you can achieve anything. Good to see you too. Good to see you. And so one of the goals I had was that I was going to create a podcast. Well, I created that podcast at the beginning of this year, and it was called Queen Bernice Bedtime Stories. And that is to tell stories that I used to tell my children where I just make it up. So I tell those stories in the podcast. Oh, thank you so much. When Bowie says your book is really fabulous, thank you so much. And I saw that review that you left me on Amazon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means so much to a new author. So that was one of the goals that I accomplished, was doing the podcast. Then another goal I had was that I wanted to get to 1,000 subscribers. Well, I reached 1,000 subscribers on February the 2nd, but I haven't reached the 4,000 watch hours. I am so close. I am very close. So I'm probably about a couple of weeks away at the most from reaching those 4,000 hours. And if I can encourage anybody that's trying to get to either the 1,000 subscribers or the 4,000 watch hours, don't look at the numbers. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up, keep giving people value, and it'll just work itself out. Before you know it, you'll just be rising. Another one of the goals that I had for 2020 was that I was going to get to, when I got to 10 episodes for the podcast, I would start a children's book, the very first, the Queen Bernice series, and I was going to find an illustrator for it. Well, it so happens that I had an illustrator right in my family, and it was my 14-year-old niece. And so her summer job has been illustrating the very first book. So it's been a blessing. She's going to have her name on a book that's going to be published and be on Amazon when it's done, and be 14 years old. So that was really exciting for me to be able to incorporate her into that goal. Another goal that I had was that on Pinterest, I wanted to get to 100,000 visitors per month on Pinterest. Well, the other day I got to 166,000 visitors on Pinterest. And so that goal is achieved. But the thing with Pinterest is you got to keep pinning to keep that traffic coming in. So if anybody's interested in that, it's the best way to get traffic to your website. And you can go on, there's an app or a site called Tailwind that you can use. I haven't started using that right now, but I'm creating more group boards and I'm pinning more manually. But that's what's brought the 166,000 visits to my Pinterest account. And then some of that transfers to your website. So, and then another one of the goals that I had that I wanted to accomplish was to get to impact 100 women's lives. Now, I haven't done that yet, but I'm beginning to, I have set in place a counseling program where I could do one-on-one with women and help them switch that mindset to be more of a weight loss mindset. And I'm in beta right now with that process, and I'm loving what's going on. And then one of the biggest things that I had was to publish my 31 days to a healthy lifestyle. Yes, please, Wambui, come on. I actually invited you to a group board on Pinterest. So come back to Pinterest, yes. And don't pin like just other people's stuff all the time. Pin your stuff. You can pin other people's stuff, but make sure that it's a majority your stuff. And then also join group boards. Like I said, I invited you to a group board, so I'm waiting for you to accept. So it's waiting for you when you come back to Pinterest. And so I published that 31 days to a healthy lifestyle. And then I updated my course that goes with the book. So now the book is on Amazon as a paperback and also an ebook. So that goal was accomplished all in the 2020, where people are saying, okay, this is a pandemic, COVID is horrible, 2020 is horrible. I'm here to tell you, you can still achieve your goals even in the middle of a pandemic. You can still achieve your goals even in the midst of COVID-19. You can. And it's because of online. Online just gives us great advantage. And then I actually when I put this goal down, this next goal I'm about to share, when I put it down, I didn't really think I was going to be able to accomplish it until the end of the year. And that was to work for myself full-time, because I had a full-time job. Oh, so many accomplishments. Good for you. Let's see. Let me try to get her on here. See who it is. So many accomplishments. Good for you. So inspiring. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. And you can do the same. You can do the same. And so I wanted to work for myself full time. And my course, the enrollment in my course wasn't that high. But one thing that I've learned is social media. I know social media. I know Pinterest. I know LinkedIn. I know Instagram. I have learned social media so well. So I decided then to start managing other people and become a social media manager. And I booked my client, and I have another one on the way. And so that helps you pivot. That helped me pivot to come home faster than I ever thought would happen. I thought I wasn't going to be home until the end of the year, but I was able to put in my resignation, left the 16th of July, and I haven't missed my paycheck. And I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm loving managing other people in their accounts. And so that's something that you can do. If you're on social media and you know social media, reach out to your local businesses, because they need help in getting into social media or getting their brand out in front of people, but they don't know how. And so you reach out, you manage them. It's really not that hard. What I do is I go in and I do what is called a scope of work. So I'll go research everything they have on social media, and then I'll write out what I can do for them. And then they get to look at the scope of work. And if they like it, they can sign it, and then I can draw up a contract. If they have additions or subtractions, we talk about it. And then that goes into the contract, and voila, you start managing. And I'm loving it because you're helping them get more sales. And at the same time, you're getting your own income, and you don't own anybody. Nobody owns you. You don't have to go to a 9 to 5. You're actually able to pivot and come home sooner. So that was my biggest accomplishment, was coming home and working for myself. And because I started that social media management part of my business, now it has allowed me to come home. And it's only going to grow, because my goal is to get more people, train more people down the line, so we can manage more businesses. Thank you so much, Wambu. She said, congratulations. Yes, I've been one. Here I am, almost 56 years old. And this has been a dream of mine for a long time. And so that's why I wanted to get on here and encourage, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your 60s, and you're still working for somebody, this is the time. Get online, find something to do online, because everybody is coming online. They're already here. If you noticed, if those of us that are on YouTube, our views just shot up in April, and it stayed up the whole time people were home. It didn't matter what your genre was, it went up, because more and more people were watching YouTube videos more and more. So if I can encourage anybody, you want to come home, pivot, be a social media manager. That's the easiest thing. If you already know social media, you don't have to take somebody's expensive course. You know how to do your own Instagram account. You know how to do your own YouTube. And you don't even have to do YouTube. For most of these business, what they need is Instagram, LinkedIn. Some of them ask for Twitter, and then Facebook. That's the most important thing. And on Facebook now, there's so much that you can do. And I told my husband, I go to school at YouTube. I go to YouTube University. So everything I need to learn, I learn on YouTube. And then you can just pivot and put your own spin to it. So you don't need to take somebody's $1,000 course on how to be a social media manager. You can just approach companies, have your own scope of work. If you want me to share my scope of work on how I put it together, it's my own. I can share it with you. Just go ahead and email me, the50something@gmail.com, and I'll share my scope of work with you on how I formulate it. And you can do the same, put your own spin on it. And then from the scope of work, then the contract is easy to type up, because you're pretty much saying, here are my responsibilities, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post for you this many times on Instagram, this many times on Facebook, and don't make it so it's overwhelming. Make it so that you can handle it. And what I find is I put a little bit on there, but I end up doing more than what I put in the contract. Like, I know what I put in the contract is going to satisfy them, but I still do more than what they ask for. So yes, that is. I go to YouTube University. Anything I want to find out, I just go to YouTube, Google it, find out, implement it. We are so fortunate in this day and age to have that online presence that there is no excuse. There's no excuse. We can do this. So I just wanted to jump on here, encourage somebody. If you have some wins and you're watching, can you please share that so that I can put it on here? Because then later in the replay, it'll encourage somebody else. But don't be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. Try new things online. One of the things that I started, I tried like 3 days after it came out, was Reels on Instagram. So Reels is like Instagram's TikTok, their version of TikTok, but it's on Instagram, and it's on Instagram stories. But because it's new, Instagram is pushing it a lot more than they are stories, your feed, anything else. So 3 days after it came out, I was like, somebody on YouTube probably has already figured this out, how to do it. So I went on YouTube University, and I found 2 guys that had done it and I listened to how you do the reels on Instagram. And I went in and I took some of my videos and chopped it up because it can only be 15 seconds long. And it's not as long as TikTok. So I chopped up some things. I tried, and you can pair it with music because it has no sound. So you have to pair it with music. So I did that. And one of my reels actually has, as of right now that I'm speaking, almost 1,200 views. There is no way any of my Instagram post has ever come even close to having 1,200 views and 80, 100, 137 likes. No, I never had that. So it was rare if I had 80, it was rare. But to have 137 likes off of a reel. So when something new comes out, try it out. And like I said, reels are working for me. I don't even post anything anymore. I take the reels and then I put it on the stories and then I put it in my feed, and that's it. I don't really take the time to post an actual post on Instagram anymore. So try the reels. It's not that hard. You go to Instagram stories and then you just click over to reels, and then you put your little clip in, you pair it with music, and that's it, and you post it. And then you make sure you post it on stories, and it automatically it'll go on your feed. So try that out if you are on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, well, I guess you can't, but if you're on Instagram, try that. So anything new that comes, you need to jump on it. That way you're an early adopter, and, you just go, and they'll push whatever new it is that comes out, and you can be out there and show your stuff. So what I do is my indoor walking, I take a little snippet of it, pair music. It's funny because the one that's doing really well, I paired it with Whitney Houston's music, that I'm Every Woman. And I'm going like this, and I'm saying do a fist. You could do a fist, but the music with my mouth makes it look like I'm saying I do it affectionately. So that's the one that's getting the most views. And so just try new things online. But online is where it is. If you can pivot, if you're watching this and you have your own brick and mortar business, you should be online. You should be selling stuff online. If you don't have a website, you can actually go on Facebook if you have Facebook, and there's a shop version of Facebook. There's a shop part where you can set up your own shop, and you don't even have to have a website. And you'll be, as long as you have a way of taking credit cards and the like, you can do that. And it can increase your business. So come online, figure out what you can do online to pivot so that you can increase your business, increase sales, come home and work for yourself. I am so happy. I get to sleep in the mornings. I don't have to get up at 5:30. But I work till like midnight, 1 a.m., 1:30 sometimes, because it is my job. So if you don't want to work 40 hours a week, you'll end up working 80 hours a week. But it's a pleasure to do that. It's a pleasure to do that. I love working for myself. So are there any questions on maybe for your particular business that maybe I have a suggestion for you that what you can do, but the biggest advice I can give you is be online and try different platforms online. LinkedIn is a huge platform. People don't really realize how golden LinkedIn is, because LinkedIn, people always thought, oh, that's where you go to network to get a job. No. Think of it this way. You've got people like Evan Carmichael, Daryl Eves, Sean Cannell. They're all on LinkedIn. And there's a reason why they're there, because LinkedIn has a lot of very professional eyes on your stuff, but it's a very quiet place. That means not a lot of competition in people posting. So I post stuff for my fitness on LinkedIn. I post stuff about, even if I make muffins that are healthy, I post it on LinkedIn. But the hashtags and the way you do LinkedIn is different than the hashtags that I would choose on Instagram. Because Instagram, I can choose up to 30 hashtags. LinkedIn, I went on a live the other day that says do 2 to 3. So every platform is different and you just have to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's going to help your business grow. So come online. If you're not online, whatever you're trying to sell, whatever business you're trying to do, come online. That's where it is. This is the now and this is future. It's not going anywhere. Online platforms are not going anywhere. They'll just continue to add new ones, Even with TikTok, I think that was, and I'm not really a big fan of TikTok, but it's worked for people. And even with that and President Trump banning that, guess what? Microsoft is going to be buying TikTok. So, the platforms are going to be here. So come on, work on it. If you want to reach out to me and whatever little knowledge I have, I'd be more than happy to share on some of the things. If you want me to brainstorm with you, I'd be happy to share on what you can do to increase your reach. For instance, I was watching these, again, I went to YouTube University again, and, watching all these bloggers and how much they're making a month and what have you. And a lot of it is from the ads that they put on their blogs, but you can't put ads on your blog from like Mediavine unless you have 25,000 visits coming to your blog. So, thanks, Nessa. Thank you. So in order to get that visit to your blogs, guess where you have to be? Pinterest. So that you can drive that traffic to your blog or to your website, so you can put ads on your website and generate income. So you have to be on the platforms. You don't have to be on all of them because that could be overwhelming, but you have to figure out where you need to be and then maximize it. I was advising my best friend. She's on Facebook and Instagram. And I said, stay on those two. Just stay on those two and go deep. When you start, you don't want to be everywhere because it could be overwhelming. But if you can focus it and then go deep, you understand it, you'll build your followers, and it'll just get better as you do it more and more. I didn't set out to be knowledgeable in social media. It just so happened, whatever I didn't understand, I go to YouTube University, learn it, and then implement it. And pretty soon, I found myself being able to do it for myself and then also being able to do it for others. How much? Some bloggers make us, and it all differs. Like some of them were saying 6,000 a month was what they had made off of their ads on their blog. So it differs. Some people make much more and some people make less. So I don't think you focus on the money necessarily. I think you focus on the strategy. And you're welcome. You're welcome. She said, this is great information. So you focus on the strategy, and why reinvent the wheel? If somebody is doing it and it's working for them and they're telling you, then you should be trying as well, right? What do you have to lose? You're going to be, if you don't do anything, you're going to be in the same spot you are now, a year, 2 years down the road, right? And it's like I said, I've always wanted to work for myself, and to be able to actually do it this year. Thank you so much. Thank you. To be able to actually do it this year and do it ahead of time. And my mother always taught me not to burn my bridges. So I work for a college, and I was in charge of my degree is in chemistry. So I was in charge of doing I was the lab coordinator. And so we were at home working from home. I can't really prepare labs from home, but I was doing some online things, and I knew they were going to have limited labs in the fall. But I knew if I left in July, like July 16th, they would have time to hire somebody else, train them, and get them ready for the fall, which is August, maybe towards the end of August or mid-August. So I didn't want to burn my bridges. So I left at July 16th so they could hire somebody, train them, and have somebody to take over my position without me leaving them hanging. That's an advice my mother has always told me. And that's an advice that I've kept with any job that I've ever gone to. And because of that, I always have great relationships with the people at the jobs after I leave. So, like I said, I'm home now and I'm managing other people's social media. I'm selling my books. I'm, counseling people to change their mindset, to have a weight loss mindset. And that's what you have to do when you work for yourself. You have to have multiple streams of income. Am I there where mine is like tens of thousands? No, I'm not there. But am I able to at least replace my salary and be home? Yes. And you can too. So if I can encourage you to be online, learn the platforms, and at the least be a social media manager for somebody, because a lot of people are afraid of social media, but you know it. You know how to do it. You know how to do your own social media. And it's actually easier to do social media for a company than it is for yourself. For yourself, you're actually struggling to get the followers. For a company, they already have the followers. So when you pivot and you put content on there that is engaging, I was just blown away because my very first content for a company continues to be shared, likes, commented, is because I learned from YouTube University that you have to ask people to like, comment, share. We do it on YouTube all the time, right? And so this particular one, that content is being shared. It's bringing people to realize who this company is. And I've only been on the job with them less than a week, and it's been such an improvement. So learn the platform. I am so proud of this lady right here, Wambui Said It. And she also has a channel called Wambui Made It. Please go check her out. I know she doesn't mind me telling you because she doesn't look her age. She is 70 years old, and she does stuff with live streams that puts me to shame. And she has learned the technology. So she could have said, oh, this is not my age. I can't, but she didn't. And she learned the technology, and she does live streams, and she's constantly has so many people that are watching her live streams, and it's very impressive. So everybody can do it. Everybody, yes, wow, yes. Check her out. Wambui right here on the screen. Yes, Nessa, check her out. She's awesome. She does crafts, and then she also has another channel, she talks about, any subject. But she inspires me. She completely inspires me because everybody can learn. Nobody should sit there and say, oh, I don't know social media. Heck, you're on your phone. Look at this. She says, I'm blushing. That's funny. That's funny. But you're on social media. You're on Facebook. You're doing your own personal stuff. I don't waste time on my personal page on Facebook. I really don't. I don't waste time. I'm too busy building my brand. I don't have time to be posting gossips, and I will go and say happy birthday to people. I will go, and if there's something sad or somebody needs prayer, I will go and take care of that. But other than that, I don't have time for these. If you didn't read it to the end, then you don't read my Well, that is so childish. I don't have time for that. I'm growing a brand. So you can learn. You can learn social media. And then I'm gonna, is anybody has any questions? Because I don't want to be too long on this live, but I thought I would just pop in here. I have a client that I have to go film. One of my clients that I am managing, I have to go film them, edit them, put them online. So I have to leave here shortly. But I wanted to pop in here and encourage, if you've been wanting to work for yourself, if you're working for yourself now and something is not working, pivot, be online, look at the different platforms, learn it, get it done. It can be done. So leave me a comment, actually in the regular comment section, because this is all going to be gone. It won't necessarily show. And then I'll answer it. But I love you guys for being here. I love you guys for listening to me. Go check out my reels on Instagram. Some of them are really funny, even though, it's all indoor walking. But thank you so much for listening to me. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you. Leave a comment, like it, and subscribe to this channel and help me get to those 4,000 hours sooner than later. All right. Love you guys. Okay. Who's this? I would love to work for myself. Absolutely. You can figure out what it is that you're passionate about. But whatever it is, online has to be a part of it. Otherwise, it won't work. The days of mailing stuff to people, that's gone. The days of like doing stuff like, flyers, and it all has to be done online. That's where people are. So that's where you have to be. So whatever it is, figure it out what you're passionate about, and you can do it. You can do it. Don't quit your job before you have the income. Don't do that. But anyway, you could do it. So thank you for listening to me, just go on. Hopefully I've encouraged somebody and to pivot, whether it's, find a new job or whether work for yourself, whatever. Hopefully I've encouraged you, and everybody have a wonderful rest of the evening. Love ya. Bye.